Hey everybody, this is Joel Toppin here, and I got a package of mail from GMT. Well, actually one of two packages here from GMT, and this has got Silent Victory, which is the U.S. Submarines in the Pacific. From Consimpress, GMT is helping with the distribution of this, and it's the follow-on game to the Hunters. So if you played the Hunters, this is the U.S. submarines in World War II. So same general system. Alright, let's look inside the box. What we got here looks like a 20-sided die. A couple of D6s of different colors. A couple of D10s of different colors. Very nice. Wow, these are bigger than I was expecting. I put together the Vassal module for the game, so I knew that there was cards in here with the historic ship captains, so you can play as one of these ship captains and try to do as well or better as these guys did. And these are actually nicer cards. They're about the same thickness as game counters, so they're nice and thick, square, large. So there you go. Got a bundle of those. If I remember right, there's 8 of them. Rules of play. The rule book feels thicker than the Hunters, but there's more, I think, in this game than there was with the Hunters. So there's quite a bit here. It's not a difficult game. It's not a terribly complex game, but the rule book has a little bit more in it. Index on the back. It does feel to be the semi-gloss, which I prefer to the glossy rule books. Color, nicely illustrated. 3 columns. So, like I said, there's a lot here, but it's not a difficult game. In fact, it's a game you can pretty much just punch out and then learn the rules as you push things around on the board. So there you go. It's also a game that doesn't require a whole lot of table space, which is nice when you're living in a little house like I am now. Alright, Silent Victory Patrol log sheet. Feels like there's more log sheets in here than with the Hunters. So that's kind of cool. Charts. Got a whole host of charts. I mean, you got a bundle of them here. All right, they're all kind of bundled in, and so there's a lot of chart checking, a lot of die rolling in this game, and everything you need to look up and roll dice on is going to be in these. They're nicely organized, so you're not hunting for things. They're nicely color coded, so I found it pretty easy to navigate. All right, these I'm going to open up. These are, sorry, it's hard to do this with one hand. There we go. These are the submarines, and these have a different feel to them. It feels like almost like there's a semi-gloss coating on this. It's hard to describe. Anyways, these are the submarines, the different patrols that they can go on. So when it comes to tabletop space, this is pretty much half the tabletop space that you would be required at a minimum to play this. You can play this on a desk in an office if you wanted to. So you have the Belau, Argonaut, Gar class, Gato class, of course. That was the heavy lifter of the war. Narwhal, Porpoise, Salmon, the Tambor, the Tench class, and the Gato class. I don't remember why there's 2 Gatos. I think it's so that 2 players can each be playing one side by side. I think. Don't quote me on that. I have not read all the rules. The targets are larger counters in this than in the Hunters. So there's 2 counter sheets here. This has got your targets on them, most of which are going to be like tankers and freighters and passenger ships, but there's also warships, quite a few warships on here, in fact. Heavy cruisers, light cruisers, you got submarines that you can go up against, float plane tenders. There's also named vessels like the heavy carrier Zuikaku, Yamato battleship. So you see there's quite a bit more here, I think, than in the Hunters. These counters are thick, by the way. Very nice, thick counters. Hunters only had 1 counter sheet. There's a lot of empty space in here, but They gave you some extras of some things, like you get extra range, extra hull damage, things like that. But that's pretty much all the counters that you're going to need. It's not a really counter-intensive game. This is something new that they didn't do with Hunters, but I like that with this game, and that is the patrol maps. So if you're not really required to use this. All of this is already on these submarines here. So basically, you move in a linear progression on this track. Well, it's the same thing as just following the arrows on here, but this tells a better story. So when I put together the Vassal module, I made sure I included these in the Vassal module, because I figured players are probably going to want to use this. I mean, if you got the tabletop space, you're going to want to use that. So there's a couple of these double-sided. So you have the North Pacific and the South Pacific. So you either base at Pearl Harbor or Auckland, excuse me, not Auckland, Fremantle or Brisbane. So there's 3 different campaign maps, and then last but not least, and stuck to the bottom, is the combat map. And again, this is thicker and coated. It's hard to describe. Like I said, with the submarines, there's like a coating on these. This is not as thick here, but this is substantial here. This is a good slab here. So really, all you need to play this on a tabletop, all the space you need is a space, to have some charts set aside, and then these 2 things side by side. Okay, so if you got that, you have enough room to play this game. So this is it's a solitaire game, but it can be played in a semi competitive mode, where your objective is to try to sink more tonnage than the other guy does, but you're both playing for the winning team, as it were. They've run some tournaments of this at the Consim World Expo. John Kranz, who runs Consimpress, also runs the Consim World Expo, so you can check that out there. I know that Greg Smith is the guy that runs this. And it's pretty cool. I think they give away t-shirts to winners, things like that. So it's kind of a neat thing that they do. So if you're planning to go to the Consim World Expo this summer, it's in Tempe, Arizona. Go check it out online. It's the most fun gaming event of the year. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of my favorite events. If I can get down there, I'll try to do that again. But if you get down there, he'll be running, I'm sure, a Silent Victory tournament of some kind. So there you go. That's Silent Victory, and that's what comes inside the box.